Good morning, students. Good morning to everyone. I have shared with you the screen discussing or depicting the revealed preference theory along with the diagrams. Okay, so we will continue our discussion that we had started yesterday. I did not upload the class recordings, okay, yesterday, thinking that it was the voice was cracking and all, but the voice was clear, completely clear, which I saw, which I found last night. So I will upload that yesterday's recordings as well as today's recordings at the same time tonight, okay. So whoever has missed, whoever could not listen to my voice properly, you should refer to the class recordings for yesterday's class, where I already started with the discussion on revealed preference theory. All right. So I will start from the point where I left, where I ended yesterday. Just wait for 1 minute. I'll start. Okay. Just give me 1 minute. There is a concern. Just wait for 1 minute. Still, people are joining in. Okay, so we were about to start with the assumptions and we were about to start with the revealed preference principle more formally, right? We did with just the discussion on the concept and what we understood. Can anyone give me a summary of the yesterday's discussion? Who could hear me properly? Can anyone just tell me that what till today's discussion or till yesterday's discussion, what what actually comes to your mind when you hear this theory, revealed preference theory? Can anyone give me an answer, a proper answer? Can anyone give me? What do you understand when this revealed preference theory is? Yes, tell me.
Ma'am, this means that the consumer will choose A not because it is very expensive. It depends upon his likeness. That if he likes the good, he will choose A.
Hmm.
Not it is not necessary that he will choose the less expensive good, like
Hmm.
for example B or C.
Poonam, your voice just went off. I think network issues. Okay, Poonam, I understood that you have got the concept. The concept is that it is if a consumer buys a particular good and he prefers to buy that good over prefers that good to other goods, then that is not necessarily because that good is a cheaper one. Okay, not expensive, that good is a cheaper one. It can be just because of the fact that he likes that good more than the other goods. It can be simply because of the fact, because he simply prefers that good, that's why he is buying. It is not because that the price is different, or he can substitute, if he substitutes he will be in a beneficial position, nothing like that. He can just simply buy that product because he likes it more than the other products. That is revealed preference theory. What is revealed here? Remember, in that way, when the term revealed is used, it would mean what is revealed. Revealed is the price. Suppose now the price is revealed and you have come to know that the price of the good that the consumer is actually buying is in fact costlier than the other goods, but still the consumer are buying it. That is revealed. Okay, that is revealed to you, and still the preference is coming towards the product that he is buying. He's still buying the expensive product. That is preference. Revealed is the price, preference is the choice of the consumer. So that is revealed preference theory. Okay, and how do we call it? We call the term as combination or good A is preferred to B. We call it is preferred to B, or B, C and D, whatever, are inferior to A. Like that we call revealed preferred and revealed inferior. Okay, which is revealed preferred? Revealed preferred is the good which the consumer is buying, knowing all the facts about it, knowing that it is costlier, he will have to face so many problems to reach out to the seller of it. Whatever is the case, still he is preferring the good. That good is called revealed preferred. And the other goods over which he is preferring that good, those goods are called revealed inferior. Understood? So these two terms we had already came across yesterday, and I told that today we will do this revealed preference more formally. Okay, so let us suppose that a consumer is buying. Now you concentrate on the thing which you can see on your screen. Okay, we are going to read it and then I'm going to discuss it. So let us suppose the consumer is buying the combination X1 and Y1 at the price set Px, one single comma, and Py, one single comma. Okay, so we are notifying certain facts about the purchase or the consumer buying behavior, and that is we are assuming that the consumer is buying the combination of good X1 and Y1. Okay, and the price set of the combination X1 and Y1 are Px and Py. Okay, with a comma, yeah, Px and Py. These are the prices of the combination X1 and Y1 respectively. Now let us also suppose that another combination, that is X2 and Y2, let us also suppose at the same time. Okay, at the same time, বাবাই বাবাকে বলো ক্লাসটা বসিয়ে দিতে, টাইম হয়ে গেছে। Okay, so and at the same time, let us also suppose that another combination is X2 and Y2. Just a minute. Excuse me for a while, okay? Bring the conversation look and sit, okay? Okay, so I'm starting from the beginning. I'm sorry for the disturbance. Okay, let us suppose that the consumer is buying a combination of good. Okay, one is x1 and the another is y1. This is a combination of the good that he is purchasing, and the prices that are set, that prices of this set of this combination are what? Px and capital Py. Okay, small px and capital Py. At the same time, let us also suppose that another combination is x2 y2. So let us also assume at the same time that there is another combination also present, which is notified as x2 and y2, such that px1 plus py y1 is greater or equals to px x2 plus py y2. Okay, so what are this px1 and py y1. Okay, suppose this is the p is the price of x1, right? P is the price of x1, so total price is px1. So total price is your px1. At the same time, if you consider the total price of the second good, that is py y1, am I correct? Px, there should be a small x. Okay, here in this, if you can see my arrow, there should be a small x after this p. So px x1, that is the total price of the first good, plus py y1, that is the total price of the second good. This total price, entire price of this first combination should be greater or equals to, it should not be less, but it can be either greater or it can be equals to also to the second combination. Okay, px x2 plus py y2. We are considering two combinations. One is x1 y1 and one is x2 y2. So suppose these prices are same. These prices we are considering a same for now. Okay, and we are saying that this price of this combination, total price of this first combination, let it be more than the total price of the second combination. Simply, now if the consumer buys the most preferred combination subject to his budget constraint, then we will say the combination x1 y1 is strictly preferred to combination x2 y2. So these are being notified as with symbols. That's why maybe you are facing some trouble in understanding, but this is the same concept that we are using. That is, the total price of the first combination is more than the total price of the second combination. And since the consumer is buying the first combination, that means it indicates, it really indicates that the consumer is buying the most preferred combination subject to his budget constraint, obviously. Okay, now if the consumer is buying the first combination, that means x1 and y1 set of goods, then we can easily say that this combination, that is the first combination x1 and y1, is actually strictly preferred to the combination x2 y2. Simply, these are simple notation, the simple concept determined with, has been explained with notations. Okay. So taking as with this assumption, if we move ahead, with this proposition, rather, with the proposition that this x1 and y1 combination is strictly preferred to the other combination, that is x2 and y2. If we move ahead, then what would be the assumptions? With the help of the simple principle of revealed preference, we may build up a powerful theory of consumer demand. With the help of With the help of this simple principle that we have known so far of revealed preference, we may build up a powerful theory of consumer demand. Now the assumptions that we shall make here are now the assumptions. Okay, if in examination a question comes, what are the assumptions of revealed preference theory? Then this should be your answer. Number one is the consumer buys and uses only two goods. The quantities X and Y of these goods are continuous variables. That means what? Here also we are not taking into consideration more than two goods, which in reality is not practical, which is not real actually. But still we are assuming only two goods and not more than two goods. Okay, and the quantities of these two goods x1 and y1 are continuous variables. That means what? They can change continuously. It's not that they are fixed. This much amount of goods can only be bought, or this much amount of good is only available in the market. It's not that case. The goods are a the amount of the goods, the quantities of the goods x and y are continuous variables. That means they can change in their own pace. They can either increase or decrease. That is what has to be assumed. Otherwise, we will not be able to prove the theory of consumer demand. Okay. Now, second assumption. Come to the second assumption. Both these goods are of MIB type. What is MIB? More is better. Both these goods are of more is better type. This assumption is also known as the assumption of monotonicity. That means here another vital assumption is that you are saying that if you buy 100 units of the combination of good, then you will be more satisfied than when you will buy 50 number of units of this combination. Okay. So both these goods will be called more is better type. That means more you purchase, more is better for you. Okay, the better for you. Sorry. This assumption is also called what? It is also called the assumption of monotonicity. This assumption implies that the indifference curves of the consumer are negatively sloped. This assumption will bring you to the concept of indifference curve. This we have already done, so I am not going into detail of it. This particular assumption is only going to determine the slope of the indifference curve, which is negatively sloped, which has a negative movement. Third assumption is the consumer's preferences are strictly convex. If there is a concept of indifference curve, then the shape of it has to be convex. If you remember the properties of indifference curve, right? Okay, so if there is a concept of indifference curve, then the preference level of the consumer has to be strictly convex. If you remember the properties of indifference curve, this assumption implies that the indifference curves of the consumer would be convex to the origin, which again implies that there would be obtained only one point, that is the point of tangency on the budget line of the consumer, that would be chosen by him over all other affordable combinations. You don't need any explanation. You already have come across this concept. If the shape of the indifference curve is convex to the origin, then if we plot the budget of the consumer on that particular graph, then that budget line will touch the indifference curve at only one point, and that point is the point of equilibrium, and that point is only going to be chosen by the consumer over all other affordable combinations. That means in the budget, affordable combinations means what? All the combinations that are falling in that particular budget line. Budget line is a straight line, if you remember. So in that budget line, whatever combinations of goods are falling, that is called as affordable combinations for the consumer, because he can buy till that much or less than that he can buy. More than that he cannot buy, because that will cross his income. So taking into the consideration the properties of indifference curve and the characteristics of budget line, we can also say here as well that the budget line will be tangent to only one point, will be a tangent, and it will touch the indifference curve at only one point, and that point is going to give the best possible choice to the consumer. This assumption is very important. On the basis of this assumption, we shall obtain a one-to-one relation between the consumer's price income situation or budget line and his equilibrium choice. For any particular budget line of the consumer, there would be obtained one and only one equilibrium combination of goods, and for any combination to be an equilibrium one, there would be obtained one and only one budget line. So that is what we will have to follow. Otherwise, we will not be able to prove this revealed preference theory. Okay, we will not be able to apply this revealed preference theory. So what this paragraph is saying? This is saying that there is only for any particular budget line of the consumer, there is only one equilibrium combination of goods, and for any combination for it to become an equilibrium one, there has to be, or there would be obtained only one budget line. It indicates what? Simply if you put in words, there will be only one budget line and there will be only one equilibrium combination of goods. Okay, and we will not consider all those situations. We will not shift the budget line, we will not again bring back the budget line, we will not do all those things. Okay, only one combination of good will be the equilibrium one, and only one budget line of the consumer will be considered. That is what this point or this paragraph is saying. Let me see how far we can go. How many? Yeah, 5. We can finish up the assumption today. The fourth assumption of the revealed preference theory is known as the weak axiom of revealed preference. This in short we will name from now onwards WARP. This is called weak axiom of revealed preference. Here we assume that if the consumer chooses the combination X1 and Y1 over another affordable combination X2 and Y2 in a particular price income situation, then under no circumstances would he would choose E2 over E1 if E1 is affordable. This is called the weak axiom. Okay, here what assumption is made in this weak axiom or WARP? You must be listening to me carefully. I hope you must be listening to me carefully, because these are the assumptions that we are going to use in the further stages of this discussion regarding revealed preference. Okay, so listen to me very, very carefully. The fourth assumption say that there is a weak axiom of revealed preference, also known as WARP in short. Here what is assumed? Here it is assumed that if the consumer chooses a particular combination, say E1, say combination of X1 and X2, two goods. Now previously we were discussing with respect to two different goods. Now I want to put you in a little bit of more critical stage by mentioning the term combination. Okay, since we just started with the discussion yesterday, that's why I explained with respect to two goods only. Now I want you all to think about combination, not a single good. Okay, so combination of X1 and Y1 I want you all to think about from now onwards. So suppose the consumer is choosing to buy the combination which is having good X1 and X2, X1 and Y1. These are two different quantities of these two goods X1 and Y1. and he is choosing this over the another combination which is affordable, that means falling in the budget line only, which is x2 and y2 in a particular price and income situation, given the price of the products and the income of the consumer, then there won't be any situation under which he will choose the other combination. Okay, he will go on choosing E1 as long as it is affordable. Once this combination E1 will go beyond the budget line, then he will think of changing his preference. But as long as this E1 is affordable, he will keep on buying E1 and he will keep on preferring E1 over any other affordable combination. Okay. And the fifth one, which is another interesting one, it is called the strong axiom. The fourth one was the weak axiom, and fifth one is the strong axiom. In short, it is known as SARP. That was WARP. This is SARP. What is this combination? What is this assumption? According to this, if the consumer under different price income situations reveals the combination E1 as preferred to E2, now say different situations are given. In the weak axiom, a particular price income situation was there. Now in the strong axiom, there are different price income situation, and it is revealing that the combination A is preferred to E2, then E2 is preferred to E3, like that. Each of the combination is having a little bit of more preference than the other combination. Okay, now you think about ranking the combination. For E1 is ranked highest, second highest E2, third highest E3, like that. The lowest preferred combination is say EK. Okay, then if this is the case, then E1 would be revealed preferred to EK, and EK would never be revealed preferred to E1. It means now you have to think strongly about the preference. In the previous one, you were thinking weakly that this combination, if compared with another combination, then this combination is preferred. E1 was preferred to E2 only. But now you are having a strong axiom, you are having a strong preference over the combination, and under no circumstances and any combination is going to attract you and ask you to buy that one. You are preferring E1, you will keep on preferring E1. Let be E2, E3, till EK combinations are given to you, those are affordable, but still you will keep on buying E1. That is strong axiom of reveal preference theory. Understood? Okay, so let us keep this much, and tomorrow I will not take online class. I am giving you the offline activity to now itself. Your offline activity is to jot down these assumptions in your copy and go through it properly. Okay, go through it properly, minutely, every details you go through, and then jot it down in your copy. And on Monday, when we meet again online, you will ask me any doubt if you have regarding these assumptions. All right. So that is your offline activity for Saturday. What will you do? You will not only jot down, like a clerk, but you will try to understand like a manager. Okay. You will try to evaluate each and every assumption and think about the situation in practical world. Is that clear to all of you? Please tell me. Now you can unmute yourself as you will be responding to your names. So you unmute and tell me, is the assignment or offline task clear to you? Please tell me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
great. So you will not jot down simply like that, but you will understand and then jot down the points. Okay. And on Monday when we come back, we will discuss all the doubts if you have any. Okay, so now respond. Abhay Sharma.
Yes, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Aditya. Alsaba. Aman Goel.
Yes, ma'am.
Aman Sharma. Ananta.
Yes, ma'am.
Present, ma'am.
Angela.
Present, ma'am.
Anish. Anisha. Ankit Pithania. He's the owner of Kitania or what? Anmol Gupta? Anmol
Yes,
Lama?
ma'am.
Present, ma'am.
Bhavesh? Who is this? Anisha? Anmol Lama present. Bhavesh? Vikash? Vishwadeep?
Yes, ma'am.
Charu?
Present, ma'am.
Chirag?
Present, ma'am.
Deepika? Girish? Himani?
Present, ma'am.
Jaya? Kashish?
ma'am.
Meghna? Mehul? Parveen?
Present, ma'am.
Muskan Agarwal? Muskan Agarwal 5'9".
Yes, ma'am.
Neha? Nikhil?
Ma'am.
Present, ma'am.
Nishita?
Yes, ma'am.
Nupur?
Present, ma'am.
Piyush?
Present, ma'am.
Pragati? Prageshwar?
Present, ma'am.
Prashant?
Present, ma'am.
Pratham? Preeti?
Present, ma'am.
Poonam?
Present, ma'am.
Ronak? Ravi?
Yes, ma'am.
Riyant? Riya Lama? Rohan? Ronak? Sahil? Shama?
Yes, ma'am.
Shreya? Shreya?
Yes, ma'am.
Srishti?
Yes, ma'am.
Sneha? Saurabh?
Yes, ma'am.
Saurabh
ma'am.
Sarkar? Saurabh
Present,
Agarwal?
ma'am.
Srishti?
Present, ma'am.
Suhana?
Yes, ma'am.
Sujit?
Present, ma'am.
Suvneet? Swati?
Present,
Swayam?
ma'am.
Tanya?
Yes, ma'am.
Yash? Yashika? Okay, please leave and join your next class. See you on Monday and do your offline activity properly. Okay, bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Ma'am, you missed my attendance again, ma'am.
Your name is there or not?
Ma'am, you
Let
missed
me
my
check.
attendance again.
Wait. Is your internet
Hello, ma'am.
connection okay? That you tell me.
Hello.
See, I'm speaking, you can't hear me.
Ma'am, you missed my attendance again, ma'am.
Are I'm speaking, can't you hear me?
No, ma'am. Network issue.
Yeah, so your network problem. I'll give you attendance. Go.
Yes, ma'am.